Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. Now, before we start, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to checking this out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, it helps a lot, and again, thank you. Have an incredible day or evening, depending where you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have on the show the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the incredible, awesome Claire. Claire, how are you today?
Good. How are you today? Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. I mean, what better way to have an epic day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
There you go. Now, before we start, I do want to thank those who are watching this or listening to this. Thank you so much. If this is your first one, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. If this is your third one, fourth one, keep watching them. I do appreciate that a lot. And now, jumping straight to the interview now, tell me, for those who don't know who is incredible, amazing, badass, superstar Claire, please tell us who you are.
Hi, guys. Dan, thanks so much for having me. My name's Claire. I'm a professional soccer player. I've known for a long time that's what I wanted to do, but I'm on a journey and I'm still figuring out how to get to the top of the game. I've had a lot of challenges and setbacks, but I'm still going for it. I'm 27. A lot of people think I'm crazy, that I'm still trying to get to the top. My goal is to go to the Olympics one day, and I'm going to make it happen.
There you go. That's badass level like 4. You're killing it here, and we're just starting. I love it. Now, let's go back in time and tell me where this journey started.
For me, I knew I was grateful at a young age to know what I wanted to do. I was about 7 years old and I did all the sports under the sun. At first, actually, I was like, I love tennis. I
Okay.
love I loved ice skating. I'd never ice skated before, but I was like, maybe ice skating. I like the outfits. But
Yeah.
once I started playing soccer, I fell in love with the game at 6. And from there, I was like, yep, this is what I want to do. I find so much joy in it. I find so much love and fun, and this is what I want to do. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're really lucky. Like, you know what you want to do." But I was so motivated at a young age, and I've continued that journey. I got myself to where I am now, and I'm still going. But I know little 7-year-old me would be proud of where I am right now.
There you go. That's badass. I love it. And what were some of the challenges? So, yeah, so you wanted to make this as a career. Tell me, what were some of the challenges that you had when you were, recently making those first steps?
It's interesting because when you asked me that question of challenges kind of early on, it was interesting because I didn't actually have a lot of adversity early on in my career. And my adversity served me a lot more when I was in college
Yeah.
and just starting to become a pro. My earliest years were like, oh, I started out on the silver team, which I do tell kids, it doesn't matter where you start.
Mhm.
I was on the B team and I went to a Division 1 college and won a national championship and have played in the pros for 5 years. So it can happen anyway, but I definitely had a lot of adversity in college when I was playing with the best of the best, being on the number 1 team in the country, sitting on the bench and never have experience in sitting on a bench. That definitely opened my eyes to a whole new
Yeah.
world of being a better teammate, being a good leader, supporting people. Something I never understood how to do when I was a younger player because I was always told how great I was. So that really opened my eyes, and has opened my heart now. And I'm so much more well versed in that world, and I can handle adversity a lot better now because of those circumstances.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And now, focusing on your career here, tell me how you usually prepare before a match. Do you have a ritual or a go-to song, or like what is your thing before jumping to the pitch?
Yeah, I love blasting me some music, getting a little dance in there. However, I'm a terrible dancer, but
Mm.
getting the body going.
Yeah.
I'm also very spiritual when it comes to meditating, and I'll meditate before I blast music actually, so then I can kind of zen out and focus
Mm.
on what I want to do during the game. And I do love grounding myself on the field beforehand, so I'll go barefoot on the field to really establish my grounding. And then the blasting the music and hyping up teammates, all that good stuff. But no, I'm not so much of a superstitious, like, oh my God, my shin
Yeah.
guards have to be on the other opposite like shins. So it's more music and vibing with my teammates beforehand.
And tell me like how you handle losing. I mean, it's part of the game, right? Winning and losing. So how you handle the whole losing side? Do you do like a specific thing, or like what is your thing?
I think as you know, as a soccer player, it kind of depends how you lose. You know, if your team had like a bad game and everyone's playing like crap, or
Yeah.
you're more frustrated because you're like, okay, we're better than that. But then again, if you outplay an opponent and you still lose, you know, there you can still walk away and take away some things.
Mm,
I have found that if I ruminate on bad games, it doesn't serve me. So for me, depending on how I perform, I try to either, you know, I pick out some things I need to work on for the next game, or
yeah.
if it's just like totally out of character, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna forget about that one and not think about it too much.
Yeah.
But I love helping my teammates, and you know, if they come up or if I saw something like, hey, you could have turned there on that one instead of playing it back, you had more time. So I love giving little tidbits of um, help and support to my teammates if it's warranted or not.
Mm. And like, what position do you play? And which would be the less that you like, the less that you at some point you try and you were like, no, I'm not gonna ever try that again.
My position is midfield. However, I'm a very versatile player, so I can pretty much play anywhere
Yeah.
except goalie. So
Yeah.
sorry, Dan, I'm not a goalie, and I'll tell you a little backstory in a sec. But I have
Mm,
found as well, though, it's very good, especially at the pro level, to be a versatile player and not just be so set on one position.
yeah.
In college, I played a holding midfield, but I was recruited as an attacking mid. But I knew I would only play on the field if I was playing holding mid. So you know you got to
Yeah.
compromise and get out of your own way. If the coach is like, "Hey, I see you at this position," you're like, "Okay, I'm not going to argue with them." But definitely don't put me in the goal because I will not say anything. I
Yeah, I can
know
understand that.
sounds like you would, but this is this is such a funny story. My mom would laugh hearing this, but it was a 7v7 tournament and I was so excited because everyone got to rotate. We were like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I got to go in the goal and I'd never been in the goal. I put the gloves on. I'm super excited. I go in the goal, the ball goes out, a bounce, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I get to take my first goal kick." I turn around
Mm.
and I sprint into the goal post and almost knocked myself out. I had a giant black eye. I
Oh.
was concussed. And my mom goes, "You're never playing in the goal again. We're done. That's it."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
since
can
I was
happen.
11, I have never played at the goal, nor do I think I would be good in the goal.
Yeah,
Goalies are
it's
badass. So
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I love like taking the chance of a goal for somebody else. I love like stealing that, like that
yeah.
2 seconds of glory to be like, yes, I did it. I love stealing that. But of course, when they score to you, you're like, ah, shit. You know, you
Mhm.
like you feel you tend to learn as you get older to be like, nah, whatever. I mean, unless that you really are hating the other team when they score your goal, you get pissed. But I do think that that's like part of the whole thing. For example, for me, I start for me it was the other way around because I start attacking,
Mhm.
didn't work, midfield didn't work, defense I was working, but then I was like, you know what? Since I have tried all positions now, I want to try goalkeeper too, and that's when I was like, okay, I like this. So moving on here a little bit, tell me, like, let's say that one day I call you, right, and I tell you that I want to become a pro. Now here's the catch: I'm 30. So
Mhm.
what do you think that would be important for me to know? Or would you be like, you know what, try something different? So like, what advice would you give to me?
I think being obviously realistic, I mean, anyone can do anything if you're
Yeah.
good enough. If you're good, why not try? Especially I say I'm at a point in my life, especially with sports, like you cannot be a professional athlete forever. You
Totally.
know? I mean, we our bodies can't. So I mean, I am a huge advocate in people trying, but obviously if you've never played soccer before and you said you wanted to be a pro at 30, I'd probably laugh. But obviously
Yeah.
we have a lot of oblivious people in the world. But I think the biggest thing, especially for females, having someone represent you, you definitely need representation because you can get taken advantage of
Yeah.
with contracts or even like I've played in Spain. My Spanish is bastante bien, but at
Yeah.
the time I was not. good enough in Spanish to understand what was going on. So I wasn't able to be an advocate for myself. So once I got an agent, I was really able to communicate my thoughts and help. And I have a lovely agent now, and she is so supportive and helps me. And obviously, training is a component.
Yeah.
If you're going to make it your life and you're going to be professional, it has to be all day, every day, what you do, what you think, how you act, and how you perform. So
Mm.
um, I wouldn't say it's unattainable if someone wanted to decide they wanted to be a pro at 30, but you definitely have to have some background.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like one of the cool things that I start to enjoy is the fact that they are now including like the whole female soccer, like, yeah, like the whole female soccer leagues. They're becoming like more mainstream, like more
Mhm.
people are starting to like define like even in video games like FIFA, they have
Yeah.
now, like the lead, like the female one. And I find it pretty cool now that we have like more now, like we can see now them, like we can see more about like the teams that they have like their own league. Like a couple of years ago, I didn't know that there was like an actual female champions league, and I was like, you gotta be
Mhm.
kidding me, what? And like like it's so cool the fact that they're including that now. But I do think that perhaps there's much to learn behind the scenes that we don't know about it.
100%. I mean, building leagues, first of all, is time consuming, right? So
Totally, totally.
I always compare it to the NFL, the National Football League in the
Yeah, yeah.
United States,
Mhm.
because it started in the early 50s and it took years to build. And I mean, now it's a multi-billion dollar, um, like, I mean,
Yeah, it's a
like a
monster. Yeah,
league, you
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it and women's soccer is on track to do something really special and cool. However, it's going to take a while because the opportunity obviously wasn't there, but now it is. And we need to find a way to finance and fund. But
Mm,
I really am so hopeful for the next generation of girls because that's why I'm doing it for my kids, for my kids' kids, so that there's equal opportunity
totally.
for women to play. And it's a totally different game than the men's game. And some people love watching women's soccer, don't like watching men's soccer. So I think also appreciating what female soccer has to offer because it's a totally different game than the males.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's some,
true.
some people,
Hmm.
I know people who tell me, Claire, I don't watch men's soccer. I just love female soccer. So
Hmm.
it's knowing what we do well and definitely putting it out there. So, because we're not the same as the MLS. So,
Totally.
what does the NWSL have to offer that's different than MLS and us figuring that out and marketing that?
Yeah.
So, I'm really proud of where women's soccer has come and where it's continuing to go to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and also the fact that, I mean, you can't compare men's soccer with female soccer. I have also discovered that if you want to watch a female soccer game, don't try to see it as a men's soccer game because it's gonna
Mhm.
be totally different here. I mean, it's totally, and not that it's bad, no, but it's just
Yeah.
that like everyone that what I'm trying to say here is that it's different.
Mhm.
I've discovered that because I watched, I think, one a couple of months ago, and it was actually pretty fun. But yet again, like the idea before watching, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this and not be trying to, and not and forget about like the whole men thing
Mhm.
because it's totally different here. Which I do think that that's why perhaps some people think it's easy, you know,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it's different.
I mean, there's a reason why I like training with men, you know?
Yeah,
Like, they make me better
yeah,
'cause it's a faster game, and then I go and I play against women, and yeah, it's still fast, but I'm able to get the ball off my foot faster because when I'm playing against a group of men, if I don't get the ball off my foot fast enough,
yeah.
I'm gonna get it taken. So it's awesome, and I have, like, a group of guys I train with here when I'm at home in the Bay Area who just support me and help me and love that I come out with them, so I just appreciate those guys so much.
Totally, totally. And you know what? I once played with yeah, with two kind of semi pro,
Mhm.
and let me just tell you that they kicked the living shit out of me. Because at first I was like, you're playing with them, so you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go easy on them.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, okay, but I'm gonna go 100% at you. So they were like super 100% at me, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, like, and after that we more people came. We had like a now an official, let's say, 11-11, and I was just impressed of how like they were like screaming to the opponents, like super
Mhm.
aggressive ones, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Now, like, you know what I mean? I ended up being like saying like I don't understand why people think that their sport is kind of less than the
Mhm.
one. I mean, look at these girls; they're basically killing it. And yeah, after the game, they were like, okay, cool. And we're and I was like, you gotta be kidding me! You were monsters a couple of seconds ago, and now you're like, let's go
Giving me a
lunch.
hug.
Yeah, like, "Give me a hug." "You kidding me? You're a monster now." So I find that pretty funny
Yeah.
and pretty cool, and I do want that at some point, like, more people can know about it, and also at the same time, like, the whole, salary stuff. I do spoke once with an athlete telling me that it was kind of a yeah, that it was I mean, she was not complaining, but she was kind of, telling me, like, the whole salary was not that very cool at the same time that we're kind of doing, like, the same thing, you know what I mean? So,
Mhm. And I mean, it's growing in Mexico, women's soccer, which is really cool
yeah,
to watch. I have a lot of friends playing in the league. Maybe one day I'll go play in Mexico, but I think
pretty badass.
it's growing everywhere. But that's where I go, the salary should be even, and it's getting better with the national teams because people are stepping up and saying stuff.
Yeah.
But we need to make the same money as the men, right? To
Yeah.
be able to be get equally paid, but it's coming. We're
It's
working
gonna
on it.
take
It's
time,
happening.
yeah,
They're increasing
totally.
salaries. I'm a very optimist by nature, so I just don't like to complain and think and be pessimistic. I look at where it was and where it's going and where it is now, and I'm very happy about it. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
don't like
true. I mean,
need
it's
to
gonna
go
take some
up.
time.
It
Yeah.
is.
But it's cool now that they're actually taking notice of it, that there's
Mhm.
actually being there's a situation here that we need to adjust because yeah, at the end of the day, it's a sport. They're doing the same thing, man, female here. And I do agree
Exactly.
that like the whole salary should be equal because they're doing the same thing.
Yep. Yep. I
There you go.
100% agree.
And like tell me, along your career, let's say that one day, I don't know, a kid comes to you and tell you that has like the dream to become pro. But here's the thing, and I have discovered that either with sports, acting, music, whenever you want to say that you want to become into, actor, musician, pro athlete, you're gonna receive a lot of comments telling you like, oh, you're not gonna be able to make it, you're gonna starve, you're gonna be homeless, like all of those comments. So tell me how you handle those type of comments because I mean, I would assume that along your career you have received those comments telling you like you shouldn't be doing this, you're wasting your time. Like how you manage to silence those thoughts and be like, screw it, it's my thing, it's my life, I will do it.
Yeah. No, I you get a lot of that along the way, and I
Yeah.
think doing the work on yourself and knowing your self-worth and your self-belief, but also knowing that the people trying to knock you down have, been knocked down themselves.
Mm.
I've definitely had to work through that just with bad comments from coaches that make me feel that, I'm not good enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not athletic enough. But at the end of the day, I do know that I'm good enough. And even though people think I'm crazy, you always hear these stories. It's like the crazy people
Yeah.
that make it,
Yeah,
that
totally.
were told that they're crazy. And that's sometimes how I feel because I'm told I'm crazy all the time, like, "Oh, you're getting older, you know, you've tried, you failed," and I'm like, I still feel like I haven't had that one true opportunity, and I say whenever I get that and I know in my heart that this is it, and I either, run with it or, I don't perform, then
Mm.
I will be okay going, "I did everything I could
Yeah,
to achieve my dream and, it wasn't in the cards this time." And I
totally.
would feel okay if it didn't work. And
Yeah.
I think most people have to be okay with that. And if it's supposed to happen, if it's in the cards, it will happen, even if it's not the exact timing
Yeah.
you're predicting. Because
Yeah.
everyone, I mean, time's so relative. And I mean, I wrote a timeline down when I was 7 years old. And let me tell you, or I was 10, not 7, when I could actually write sentences. But
Yeah.
I wrote everything I wanted to do. And it's kind of like this now. I
Mm.
mean, I thought I would be here when I was 22 and
Oh yeah.
everyone does that, right? You have
Mhm.
it in your head, but it never goes like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I find interesting that normally those type of bad critics or bad comments towards you are come from people who are not even trying it,
Mhm,
who are not even doing it. So it's easy for them and to to say those type of comments or to be telling you you should have been doing this. But once they try a little bit those shoes, then they start to understand and be like, oh, okay, I get it now.
mhm,
You know?
and it's always the people that aren't doing what they love, or
Yeah.
like I said, if, had another coach tell them that they're bad and then they're projecting it onto you later on, but
Mm.
I always feel sorry for those people because I would never go out of my way to criticize someone that's trying or doing what they love, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, you did
Yeah.
it, and that's half the battle. Those are the courageous people who are willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I do believe that we all come to this world for something. But of
Mhm,
course, you need to discover what is that something. And if you found it, now work on it.
mhm,
Because yeah, I mean, working on something that you don't love and appreciate, I mean, it happens to all of us at some point, that you just don't like it. And it's crazy because you only feel miserable. And regarding of the salary, that yeah, it's gonna buy you stability and all of that, which is great, of course, but you're gonna feel empty. As I said, as I was telling you before we started the interview, the
mhm.
fact that I was having this job, and even though that it was super well paid and it bought me
Yep.
sort of a lot of stuff in which nowadays I'm just watching them and be like, what the hell did I just buy that? But anyway, um, like the point here was that even though that I was having money to spend and things like that, I was feeling miserable. And even with family members, I would be telling them that yeah, I have stability, but I'm just killing. I'm dying here. I mean, I barely sleep, I barely enjoy, and as I said, the fact that have have like the possibility to only live on the weekends. What about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I mean, those days count too. So yeah, at the end of the day, you should be focusing on what makes you happy because one day you're gonna be old, you're gonna die, and then what? Did you really spend time to it? And I do believe that whatever you do, you should kind of make sure that you leave like a legacy to it. Like
Mhm.
something for the new generations they can grab it and continue to work on. And yeah,
No, I think when you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're shining your light and your energy, that's how you can be of service to the world, and that's how you make the world a better place. When you are at your highest happy point and
yeah,
doing what you love, you're able to give back to the world and make people happy. Like you, by
absolutely.
doing this show, make people happy because they watch. I mean, and when I'm on the field, I people like to watch me because my energy, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
people recognize true self, what you're supposed to do. And
Mm,
and they might not even know how to explain it, but they're like, "I love watching you on the field," or "I love watching your podcast." And you're like, "Yeah, because I'm being who I am, and this is what I'm supposed to do."
totally, totally.
Mm.
Now that moving on a little bit here, tell me, let's say that one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, you name it, they call you and they tell you they have this idea which goes, they're gonna make a film that describe your career. But here's the thing, the film needs a name. So how would you call it?
I I would call it taking the long way round.
Hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds like a prequel. You know what I mean?
So yeah, something with, because I do feel like I'm not that I'm taking the long way around, but there's so many
Mm,
little stories within my story
yeah.
and different ways that I've accessed people and help and joined teams and all this, but it's taking a long time to get to where I see myself.
There you go.
But that's okay. And I think people get caught up in time.
Mm,
And that's why I think that would be a great title, because it's okay to take a long time if you're on the
mm,
journey, enjoying the journey and doing what you love and meeting people along the way, like how I ran into you on Instagram, and now I'm
yeah.
talking to you, and I'm actually going to play in Ireland next month, and I'm just going to meet all these people, and maybe they're going to help me in the future and I can help them and be of service. So enjoying enjoying the journey, but taking the long way. I don't know why.
I like it. No, 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 no. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like it. It sounds like a motivational yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I already have like like my mind is already like creating like the whole stuff here, like how it would look, things like that. I like it. Yeah, it sounds like a prequel of a possible franchise. Who knows?
Yeah,
I love it.
little mini episode series, yeah. I
Yeah,
love
maybe an HBO. Who knows? I mean, I'm gonna make sure to tag along Netflix. Like all of those. Who knows? Maybe we have like $1 million idea here, and you know,
Let's go, Dan. I
I
love
like
it.
it. I like it. Now, if you could describe your whole career at this moment, but on a drink,
Mhm.
how would you call it, and and what would it have?
I would call it light at the end of the tunnel, and it would probably be
Oh,
some form of, like, an Aperol spritz because 'cause I'm just a very light and
mm,
fun. I just wanna make it fun and loud, and I
yeah,
wanna chat with people, but knowing that there's stuff at the end of the tunnel, and it'll go the way it's supposed to go.
like a meaning to it, right?
Mhm.
Okay, okay, I like it.
Love
Yeah,
a good spritz. I'm
yeah.
just a spritz girl, so anything, champagne,
Mm.
Aperol, you name it. I like margaritas too, though, so I don't know.
One of the ideas that I'm working on is at some point I'm gonna have a restaurant or a bar,
Love it.
and the drinks are not gonna be the regular drink. I mean, yeah, of course I have to put them, yeah, for sure, but there's gonna be another set of drinks which are gonna be focused on the people that I interviewed before with the drinks they described. They're gonna be on the menu, so you can try somebody else's career for a while and be like, I like it, or be like, oh, this is horrible, you know?
I like that idea. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool and, like, authentic and unique. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, I'm actually like working on it, and I have already some ideas too, and that is why I'm planning to move to Canada to at the same time find the possibility to make that happen. Because yeah, it would be kind of cool, if you want to try somebody else's career for a while. Try it. It's like the whole idea here is kind of a be on their shoes, but this time on
Mhm.
a drink, and then you can be like, okay, this career is pretty cool, and be like, okay, I understand how tough this is, things like that.
Yeah.
Or you want to get drunk, have fun, that's it. So you
I
know,
think it sounds awesome.
yeah. It's pretty cool now. Now what motivates you? We all have those days that we just want to quit. Regardless in what we do, there's one day you wake up with this bug in your head telling you that you suck, that you're wasting your time. You start to compare yourself with others on that doing the same thing as you, and you're like feeling miserable. Anyway, so my question here is how you manage to silence all of those toxic thoughts and to be back
Mhm.
again on this road that you have built for so many years now.
Yeah, I think what helps everyone has those days. I mean, I don't think there's been one professional athlete that has woken up every single day, especially when they're on the grind of
No.
trying to make it. There's not been one that hasn't had that thought, like, "I can't do it."
Yeah.
Um, and even people in regular life, "I can't do that job. I can't." Oh, it hurts my heart, but I think knowing for me, what motivates me is knowing that all of this is bigger than just one person. Um, that I we're all here for a reason, and I think just what motivates me is that there's a higher purpose for everything.
Yeah.
So, knowing that hopefully with what I do, I can help others and serve people in a way that I can inspire people, I can help young girls, I can do things that will help the world.
Mm,
That's why I do what I do. I wanna truly help people.
super badass.
Is yeah.
We're going up
I
here.
feel it in here. I It's a weird feeling when you know you've been put here to do things. And I don't know how many people have that feeling. I can't even really describe it, but when you know you've been put here to serve a higher purpose,
Yeah.
mm, that
Yeah.
really motivates me.
Yeah. And I do think the same as you that as I said, the fact that there's something more meaning that just being born, grow up, then die. That's it. You know what I mean? I
Mhm,
mean, I do think the same as you that there's something behind it that some people find it, some people don't.
mhm.
And it's up to you if you want to follow that path or create your own, or if you want to stay in the stable side and be
Mhm.
there for the rest of your life, and that's fine, you know. But I do
Yep.
think that if everyone would kind of challenge, like, yeah, like challenge themselves and be like, you know what, I'm actually gonna try something different, you know, instead of
Mhm.
following the same path over and over and over and over.
That's hard to do,
Yeah,
right? That's why
yo,
people
it's
don't
super,
do it.
yeah, it's super
That's
up
why
it
people don't do it.
yeah, it's super hard. I remember when I, for example, when I started this platform, I mean, I even till this day sometimes I can't, when I'm editing, I can't see myself. I get like, ugh, you know, I
Yeah.
just can't. And it's working. Yeah, it's taking time for me to kind of understand, and also to be in camera, it put you on a vulnerable position because,
Yep.
as we were saying, that perhaps somebody might not like this, and that's fine. But I do think that also we are living now in an age that if you don't like something, instead of being like, okay, I don't like this, fine, I'll find what I like. They just want to destroy it.
Mhm.
You know, like, I don't like it, now I'm gonna make sure that this get destroyed. And I'm like, no, I mean, that's not like the whole point of it. You know, you need to actually, I mean, let's agree to disagree. And I do think that that is one of the problems that right now is happening, that people just don't want to, like, what am I saying here? Like, they want to kind of just just be happy with themselves and do something that they actually have meaning to them, you know?
No, that's very true. I
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we're just rambling right now. But anyway.
No, but it's good ramble. It's a good ramble.
Yeah, it's a good ramble, absolutely. And my last question here is, what can we expect from you in the future? Hit it.
Big things, Dan, big
Oh,
things.
I love this. I love
Big,
this.
big things.
That's incredible. I'll, I'm not, yeah, what can I say? I love what you do. I mean, you're like on my top of badass people in this world for sure. You know, like, you're on, like, on that list for sure, because what you do, it's it's amazing. I mean, of course that it's super difficult, but at the same time you're making it happen. And also you're making it happen because you want to achieve something for the future, you know. For some people can be like, can relate and be like, if she could do it, I could do it too.
Mhm,
And the fact that you're making it happen, you're showing results. As I said, I mean, it's kind of a you're kind of the living proof that dreams can come true, regardless of what some people might think or might say. It's amazing. And I'm super sure that our next conversation is going to be about, who knows, the multiple clubs you have played, or the
mhm.
multiple awards here and there, you know, and achievements, because you're actually making it happen. That's incredible.
Thank you so much, Dan. And one little last piece of advice I'll leave with everyone watching is make sure to celebrate the little victories because I
There you
think
go.
we so often forget to celebrate those and you kind of get lost in the big
Yeah,
victories. But every day, if you did something and you're like, wow, I did that and I achieved that, like make sure you celebrate it because it's a big deal because it's getting you one step closer to where you want to go.
there you go.
So I
Absolutely.
find peace in that.
You're dropping the mic.
My invisible mic.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. No, but you're killing it here, and yes, that's the perfect way to finish this. I want to thank you so much for those who watch this or listen to this. Uh, and Claire, again, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep creating, keep doing what you do, keep following this path, because I'm super sure there are hundreds of people out there who sees you as a role model, but also you are showing that you are getting things done, and that's badass. So also, I do, well, this episode is about to be over. So on the description below, you're gonna find Claire's social media. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Claire, because she's incredible. She's super badass. We all know that right now. And Claire, again, keep being this incredible badass of the sunshine you are, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
All right.